PrintXtreme, makers of quality vinyl decals. Many decals available on their eBay store. If you cannot find what you need, send them a message and I'm sure they will be happy to help you and even make your decal custom. Visit their eBay store to see for yourself. Link in the description below. Hello and welcome to this episode of Microchips and my next project, this Marko CB-747. Now, if we move the camera back, you people up there will think this isn't the normal Microchips bench. There seems to be a vintage record player on there and
a lot of mess
and some test equipment and a vintage turntable that's being restored, and even a nice valve amplifier. That can only mean one thing. Today we are with Vintage Electronics Repair.
Absolutely.
And Andy. Hello Andy, nice to meet you.
Hello Graham, you forgot to mention the Alan Sugar shitter.
Oh yes, the crap strap. Beautiful. So anyway, yes, we're here with Vintage Electronics Repair, aka Andy. Hello Andy, nice to meet you.
It's always a pleasure. I watch your channel quite often.
And yes,
as you know, because I put a lot of comments on.
You do, and every comment is most appreciated.
It is. You always say thank you.
So yes, we've come, and I've managed to prize this Marko from him.
Ooh. No, don't worry, we've got it.
Yes, I managed to prize this Marko from him, so this will be one of my next projects. So if you want to subscribe to Andy's channel, there'll be a link down below, and as you can see, Andy does all sorts of vintage electronic restorations and CB stuff, and basically
anything with a valve in it.
Anything with a valve in it.
Anything that doesn't involve surface mount.
And I'm all surface mount.
And you are, yeah.
Everything of mine's surface mount.
Yeah, let me just go and get it.
Anyway, thanks Andy for having me over, and let's see if we can do this Marko some justice and make it sing again. So anyway, we got it home and we got the front off because we needed to get the front sent away for some new decals. So whilst we wait for those to return, let's get on with the radio and let's get the mods into it and get it singing again. So first thing, bias resistor's not been done. And R150's not been done either, so we'll need to do that. And the pre-drive bias has not been done, so we'll need to sort that out as well. And then we can get the output stage performing correctly. So, easy jobs. Got plenty of videos on this. Also, as you can notice, we've got a crystal missing. That's actually the super high crystal. But my plans for this radio, we won't need the super high crystal or the high crystal. And we've got a green VCO in there. So we've got the SSB boost, got R150 done, and the biasing resistors done. Let's have a look at the bias. So just on SSB with a dead carrier, get the RF driver to 0.7 of a volt. That should be just nice. And even though we can't adjust the pre-drive, I always like to just check it anyway. And we've got 0.8 of a volt. So that's good enough. So we're going to unlock the clarifier. So we need to remove a diode and a resistor. We've also fitted a voltage feed VCO in there. So let's have a look how much swing we can get on this. So 965 down to 963 and up to 968. Okay, it's not massive, but it does work. But I think we're going to improve on that. So for our modification, we need to get the band select out and replace it for a 5 position. So there's a 5 position band select in. I've had to desolder the channel change to get it in because it was a bit of a tight fit. There's our clarifier modification with the unused pin going to the AVR voltage. Now whilst we're removing the band select, we can disable the 41 to 80. Now we don't need to jump these wires across because we've actually removed them from the actual band select itself. So all we need to do is basically connect a negative wire. If we can just pick it out of the board, just one of the ones that are cut off, and we'll solder it to there. That enables the 1 to 40 wafer, and jobs are good. So that's our 1 to 40 display sorted out. Now our crystal wires. So we're only going to be using one crystal. So we've got 8 volts that enable the crystal. So we've removed the high band crystal and we've hardwired the 8 volts onto the mid band. Now we're going to be fitting in one of my XL boards, which uses a serial PLL. This should give us 5 bands alphas and -5 kc. So out with the PLL02A and in with my XL board. All nicely soldered in. So let's give it a go. So that's low band, or should we say super low, low, mid, high, and UK40. Now the actual clarifier itself doesn't get us down to the offset, so we're going to have to do something a little bit different for that. So first off, we need to sort out these switches on the front, as these are going to be repurposed. So the NB just requires those 2 points shorting out. So there, we've done that, and we're going to disable the RF gain as well. So we'll just find out which wires are needed for the off position, trace them back and hardwire it in. So there's our -5 kc and +10 kc alphas fitted on those 2 switches. Let's give it a quick test. So 985, 995, 10 kc working nicely, and down onto zeros. Excellent. So that's working very nice. Let's do a little bit of alignment. So 10 to 40, looking good. 10695, looking good. And a 10692, looking good as well. So some of the most important bits are sorted. So let's have a look at our VCO now. And we're unlocked on the top end. So we just need to adjust our VCO just to get it back into range. And there we go, we have a lock voltage. So we'll just go to the other end, which is super low. Channel 1 super low. Yep, all good. That's our VCO sorted out. Excellent. Let's quickly retest. Yep, all good. Let's have a look at the SSB waveform. As you can see, we're a bit flat toppy there. So we just need to adjust that down just to get a little bit of a better waveform. See if we can get rid of that flat top a little bit. Now with a little bit of patience and watching the scope and adjusting the two-tone, we can get that looking quite nice. There we go. I'll just trying to find the best spot to put it at without affecting the RF output power too much. And yeah, we're looking good. So there's no major problems with the RF output stage and the SSB stage. So yeah, all good. That shouldn't sound too bad on SSB now. So what I've done here is I've rebuilt the circuitry for the actual KC shift. So let's have a look at the diagrams for this. So the top one is the standard clarifier and the bottom one is the clarifier and KC shift. And basically we're adding in an inductor, 2 varicap diodes, and removing a capacitor and replacing it with a varicap diode. And then we need to go in at 0.10 on the board, and that should give us our KC shift, and hopefully around 10 KCs or near as we can. So there's our new KC shift in place, and that is our clarifier position, so we can actually center everything up. And we've got an LED there to denote UK40 instead of the high channel. I had to replace the bulb because the bulb blew. Of course I went near it and it didn't work anymore, so we'll just replace it with an LED. So for this I couldn't use the clarifier for the actual UK offset, so I fitted one of my crystal offset boards, put it underneath the board, and that gets us down to UK40. As you can see there, bang on frequency, high, mid, low, super low, all the way up to UK40, all automatic, very nice. Now our KC shift goes from 13 to 19, so that's more than enough. A little bit more than actually using the unlock clarifier. But considering we've got -5s on this anyway, it's all good. So just doing a test on 38 mid LSB. So let's deal with this front. So the front was in quite bad condition, the actual faceplate and the plastic work. So I filled in some of the scratches on the plastic work, and we're just laying down some layers of primer. This is just plastic model acrylic primer, and the same with the paint as well. It's going to be acrylic paint. So there's our front, and as you can see it's in quite bad condition. I don't know how these get like that, but our friends over at PrintXtreme have made a custom decal for me. Now I've actually paid for this, but on some upcoming videos they have given me a discount on some of the other decals, so that's why I've agreed to pop a small advert for them, because they do very good decals. So using some wet and dry paper, we need to get this as smooth as possible, because any imperfections are going to show straight through the decal. So we need to get this front as flat as possible. Get rid of all these nasty marks. So it takes a while of rubbing. After a while and a bit of a mess, we've got it clean, and we've got it flat. So the decal should go nicely on that. So another quick look at my varicap modification. We've got the mod board, we've got the VCO, and the other parts to for the clarifier 5-position switch. All looking good. So here's my finished front. A couple of small little blemishes on there still, but it's absolutely better than it was. Overall very happy with that. We did put a layer of semi-gloss clear coat on top of it as well, just to protect it. I think it looks quite well. So let's get it all back together. But before I was just putting it back together, I noticed these rusty screws on the underside, so we'll replace those for nice new ones. So here it is, nicely finished and working well. So there you go, Andy. It's definitely a different radio now. Now you may notice I haven't done anything with the actual knobs on this. I wasn't sure how durable the paint would be in daily use, so I just left them as a little sign that it has been used. So all in all, very happy with this. So there's the Marko 747. Now got 5 bands, alpha channels, -5 kc, all working well. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, join my Facebook group, and we'll see you in the next video.